It is okay to be bold and to come out from under the hellish, disgusting, manipulative witchcraft church and cult under the hands of Passion Java.
So this woman's name is Pastor Katie. She was a member of Passion Java's church, and she's allegedly been raped by Passion Java. And just this is the type of stuff that we have been known to see, this negative behavior starting to come out, being exposed from the likes of Passion Java and Lovey and just their whole team of people, these wizards and warlocks that they run with. Right now, I don't think that it's going to get any better. Like these types of claims that are coming out, these allegations that are coming out against this whole team of people are getting more and more serious each time someone comes out against them, right? First, we just saw Gigi, EJ coming out speaking. Gigi, they've had a extramarital affair. They've been cheating, outside of Lovey's marriage. EJ exposed, the witchcraft and the wizardry side of things, and now Katie has been allegedly she's been raped. Now I'm gonna play a little bit of this video. This is a 50-minute video that she's done that she put out on her channel. I'll link the full-length video down below. This is actually covered on Abednego's channel. I had never heard of this woman before then. Just like as she states, her and many countless other people have gone seeking out Passion Java because of who he is, as far as being Lovialize, or alias, however you pronounce the guy's last name, his spiritual father. So people see what he's done for Lovey. The witchcraft they don't know is what Lovey's notoriety comes from. They see this and they're like, I want who put Lovey on to give me this same prophetic gift, this same prophetic ministry. So this woman goes seeking out Passion Java, and then he takes advantage of her. We're going to play some of these clips from this video, though.
So my story starts with how I got there. How did I get to Kingdom Embassy? Well, I started in Kingdom Embassy Atlanta back in December when they first came to Atlanta. I think it was the end of December, the beginning of January. They were opening a brand new branch right here. Okay. I've never done a live on YouTube, so. And I came to Atlanta because I wanted to serve God. I was seeking after him. I wanted to learn more of the prophetic. I wanted to go deeper in Christ. I wanted to know God. And I got there because I was first watching Lovey. I was watching Lovey online, and I was seeing what I thought was of God and all the things he was doing. And I was like, I want that. God, I want to do that. I want to free your people. I want to deliver your people. I want to be able to hear like they hear and see like they see. And so what happened is I went and looked for, well, I guess they call them spiritual fathers, right? I didn't grow up in churches like that, so that was new to me. And I looked up who his mentor was, and I saw that Passion Java was Lovey's spiritual father. And I will say 99.99% of everybody from a whole year that I spent boots on the ground with people in Kingdom Embassy and serving, almost all of us came to Kingdom Embassy under Java because we trusted that Lovey was a man of God. It was very rare to run into someone and they came to Kingdom Embassy because of Java. In fact, nobody really even knows who he is. Everyone only knows him because of Lovey.
This is the problem. You get one guy that gets popular, gets notoriety, and people truly think that this is a man of God. But then they go and they get deceived and they get used and they get abused and essayed. And that's exactly what's happened to this woman. Is she saw the guise of a spiritual man, of a man of God. Unbeknownst to them, though, he's doing witchcraft and wizardry, and he's got this congregation under a spell. You're going to hear some of the ways that this actually happens in this video. And I think it's very important to highlight this because there are people out here going to Kingdom Embassy or whatever the church is called and Revelation Church, and they don't realize that they have a spell put on them. And so when they're listening to Lovi preach or they're listening to Passion Java do his thing, they're thinking that this is truly an anointed man of God or these are men of God, when really these are warlocks deceiving people, casting spells on their congregation. And now people's channels are getting deleted or getting hacked. EJ Newton's channel has been deleted. It got hacked. I don't know if he's been able to recover it, but Abednego, he's been in the hospital the last couple of days under a spirit of infirmity. And there's a great chance that Passion Java or Lovi Elias is the one that is casting these spells on Abednego, trying to get him to be quiet. So make no mistake about this stuff, guys. This is real deal spiritual warfare. And these people are out here taking advantage of women just like this.
That are very close to Java, that are with him all the time, who I got very close with, I would ask them, like, why do we do this or why do we do that? And they never would give me an answer. They would always say things like, oh, because that's just the way it's done, or we don't question the prophet, like he is God. They would teach us, like they would program us constantly because we were always together. Like it is as if Java is God. So
No one is like God. No one is like God but God. Except for Jesus, of course, because Jesus is also God, right? But when you're putting a man in God's place, exalting a man and they say that these guys are like true prophets. This is the danger with this prophetic movement. Everybody wants this anointing. Everybody wants this prophetic gift. While Paul does tell us all to desire prophecy more than even speaking in tongues, I understand the desire for the prophetic, right? And I understand the allure and the polish that comes from it, right? These people that are out here speaking these prophetic words, they're blown up. So people want this notoriety. And I'm not saying that this Katie lady just wants fame and notoriety. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that there is a desire to come from it, from the, for lack of a better term, the glitz and the glamour that come from it. But when you're being told and taught to exalt this man, this prophet, into the place of like godliness, godlyhood, that's dangerous right there.
one time, I go to Maryland. I travel to Maryland. He's having a CCC conference. What that is it's a mentorship. Actually, it's a grooming group for single women, single mothers, or women that don't have husbands, men who are really involved in their life, or fathers. That's really what it's for mostly. Um, and he calls it a women's mentorship group. And I can say a lot about that. But we were there that weekend for that. And what he does is he says he trains up women in the prophetic, right? So we're all excited because we're chasing after God, thinking this guy's going to teach us what we're going after in our heart with the Lord. And just things started to get weird. So, of course, I can say many, many things because I've been all over the place with them. But on my last trip, so I haven't been around Kingdom Embassy. I left 10 months ago. 10 months ago this month. And we're in March of 2005. So this was last year. I believe August is when I fully left everything. And my last trip to Zimbabwe, Africa, it was when he did the big the big stadium conference where he went and Lovey came and everything, and it was a joke. But anyway, so we go there and we're there for 2 weeks to do that. And what he does is he keeps us up all night long. I'm trying to teach you guys, like, or tell you my testimony, like, because I'm about to tell you some really difficult stuff that I got myself into. The cult stuff, the horrible side, the dark, evil, wicked side that's happening to us women in there.
And I kind of want to like double down on what she's saying about this being geared towards women. Not to say that these dudes out here don't fall under the spell of Passion Java or Lovi. But if you look at the congregation of these churches, or if you look at the comment section on the YouTube videos of these channels, it's predominantly women. And these women, I think, are in love with these dudes. And like, you can call me jealous if you want to. I mean, I'm a married man. I'm not worried about that. But what I do think is that these women are being taken advantage of. And, there's a lot of women out here that have like no father or no male figure in the home, just like there's a lot of dudes out here with no dads either. But these women are easy targets for men that know how to manipulate women. And you got to think, these dudes were in the music industry back in Africa. Like, they know the game, they know how to get women. But now they just changed lanes, and now they're doing it in a Christian space, and they're taking full advantage of it because they're not truly Christians. And they're going hard after these women and taking advantage of them, monetizing these women and trafficking them. And it gets bad, guys. Listen to some of the stuff that she says.
All of a sudden, when I was in Zimbabwe, and I had two assistants with me. So, and I wasn't in my own room. So they were literally with me. They saw these texts, they saw his calls, they saw him calling me in the morning when I'm trying to get ready and putting my makeup on from his hotel when he was doing whatever he was doing. And Java would text me every morning and he'd say, "Good morning, daughter. How are you? Who are you rooming with? What are you doing?" So I'm thinking, like, oh, like I'm his daughter now, I guess, which this is weird again for me because that's never been a culture for me to call
That stuff's super weird to me, like calling these dudes father and papa and all this other weird stuff. The Bible says not to call any man father, except for your father, of course, that is. But these women are calling these dudes daddy and stuff like that. That's like, you could say it's an African culture thing, whatever you want to, but here in America, we don't do that. That's just not what we do. And women are doing this stuff.
all that, father, papa, weird stuff. And so he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I was going to come to your room today, but you didn't answer the phone earlier when I called." And that happened every morning I was there. And I would tell my assistants, like, he called again, like trying to like come and see me. And he would make up excuses like, "Oh, I wanted to borrow your necklace." Or, "I just, wanted to say good morning." And at this point, I'm still thinking, like, okay, well, this is like a man of God. Like, he's not trying anything. Maybe he's sincere. Maybe he's just being kind. And so everybody on that trip, there was maybe 60 of us, 60 or 70. So I have 70, what do you call that? Like, people, witnesses. I have like 70 witnesses. That's all what I'm telling you right now. Every day. Like, when I say it was grooming to the max, but I mean, I didn't know that at the time. To me, it just looked like favor. And I was tricked because I am praying to God because I'm in ministry. I'm wanting to grow in the prophetic. I'm wanting to grow in my relationship with God. And here it looks like, as I'm praying, give me favor with you, God, and give me favor with men. Give me favor with you, God. Give me favor with men. And now all of a sudden, it looks like I'm having all this favor with Passion Java. He's calling me, he's checking up on me, he's talking about my ministry. We're talking about business ideas because I love business. He loves business. So I'm thinking like he's being genuine and sincere. I'm not thinking anything because I've never heard the stories of him, that people expose and say all these things. And I never thought that I would be one on a video like this one day. Actually,
You guys got to realize, she says she hasn't been with this church for 10 months now. It's March of 2025, so that would put this back in about July-ish of 2024. Now, I don't know how long she was actually with that ministry, but all these exposed videos have started coming out in the last 6 to 8 months on Lovi and Passion Java and this whole team of the sexual side of things. Like, people have been exposing them as false prophets for years now, 2 years or so. So even with that, no one should be following these guys just because of their bad doctrine. But now that all this stuff is coming out, it's a dangerous time to be a woman in Kingdom Embassy or Revelation Church.
all my close friends, all the ones that called me family and sister, nobody called to check on me because you believed the story that Java gave you when you know he's a liar.
This is what's happened with Lovey as well. All this stuff has started to come out, and now people are saying that EJ, Gigi, now they're going to say it about Katie, that all these people are telling lies and, trying to sow discord, or that they are the ones that are the problems and they're the ones that are in sin or in error, or that's why they left because they were the ones in the wrong. And everybody's going to keep falling for the spell, the witchcraft, the curse that Passion Java and Lovi have put over their congregations and over their YouTube channels and over their videos and whatever the case may be. And people are out there, and somebody's going to watch this video and come to the defense of Lovi or Passion Java, or they're going to defame Katie. Yes, these are allegations, but this ain't nothing to be playing with, guys. And these are supposed to be men of God. These are supposed to be men of good character, and they're out here tricking people like this.
And so I went to go meet with him, and I mean, everybody was in the room, all his people, all his social media. I won't give names, but you guys know who they are if you're in Kingdom Embassy. All the people that work with him. And so I go in there and I sit down and I'm like, I just need to know, like, why are you favoring me so much? And he's like, oh, is that what you think I'm doing? Now, in his mind, obviously, he's thinking I'm grooming her because I'm about to do something horrible. But in my mind, I'm asking him why because it's so weird to me. And I'm telling him, everybody on this trip is noticing and it's just kind of weird. Like, what are you doing? And so as I was leaving after we had talked, because he didn't really give an answer because you don't ever really get answers in Kingdom Embassy. As I was walking away from where we were, he texted me and he said, I really wanted to ask you a question, but I don't think it's time yet. And I was like, oh, you can ask me what's up. Like, either I'm a total, like, what? Or I'm under a total spell, or I'm in a trance, or something's going on with me because
Now, there's a point of this video that I've skipped over. That's why I encourage you guys to watch the whole thing, where she says that people are eating off of Passion Java's plate, and they're saying that this is a way to receive his anointing. If you eat the food that the prophet leaves behind, you'll have the anointing that the prophet has. This is witchcraft, guys. 1,000% this is witchcraft. This is how you come into agreement with the spells, the curses, the voodoo that they put on you, is by eating their food off their plate because you come into agreement with it. And she's been doing this because that's just what they say to do. Even though she thought it was weird, she's been eating this man's food off of his plate, the leftovers that he brings to her. And so this is why she's under a curse. This is why she's not seeing Jabba for who he truly is, because she's come into agreement with what he's doing. She's accepted this curse, this spell that she's actually under, guys.
like my brain is literally not working at this point. Like, literally. Like, I'm like dazed and confused. I don't know why I'm feeling weird. And it was that day, in retrospect, that I remember. And again, 70 witnesses. He came to me and he asked me if he could borrow my golden necklace. I had a gold chain with diamonds in it. And he said, can I wear your necklace today? And he gave it back to me in front of everybody. And he tried to make it look like he bought me a necklace. But then when people started, acting crazy, some people started manifesting like hate and jealousy signals. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I just thought it was so weird. And when I got back to my hotel room and I looked at my chain, there was stuff like on the back of it that looked like blood. Now,
This dude's doing a ritual. He's doing a ritual. He's casting a spell. And I don't know if I've fast forwarded past the part where she says that at one point she starts having dreams, lustful dreams about Java coming into her room and having sex with her in her sleep. Now, if you guys know anything about the demonic realm of witchcraft, there's succubus spirits like this Damon Lilith. All these women out here on TikTok are trying to get into their Lilith era. That's a demon. This is a succubus spirit, and he's doing it in the incubus spirit. And he's going to this woman, having sex with her in her dreams, violating her in her dreams. And this is just another spell, another curse, another ritual that he's done with her necklace that she's taken and she's coming into agreement with and has no clue that she's even doing so.
I do believe, and I already know, obviously, that these are all false men of God and they are heavily into witchcraft. You heard all the stories and all the exposure videos from EJ, etc. These stories are true. I've seen it and I've been a part of seeing some stuff with Java. I don't know if I'll say all that right now though.
But in a moment, you're going to hear about how Java did some really horrific stuff to her while she was there. But not only that, like this trip is supposed to be a missionary trip, and he says he doesn't even want to talk about God while he's there. That should have been some red flags for people. Like a man of God is telling you, I don't want to talk to you about God. Like you should definitely run when a man of God tells you that.
And so I'm excited. We get there and he says, while we're here on this trip, we're not allowed to talk about anything spiritual. You can't talk about anything spiritual. I don't want to talk about God. I don't want you to ask me about your dreams. This is what he's saying to everybody. I don't want you to ask me about your dreams. I don't want anything. I just want to be a normal man and a normal person on this trip. And I'm thinking in my head, like, that's not why I came. Like, I thought I would have time to like pick his brain because they tell us, okay, Tim told me that Panasuk, that why would you not want to glean and pick the brain of a false prophet that has written over 500 books?
I did a search when I heard that part. I only found 4 books written by Passion Java. 4 books. All it takes is a quick Google search when you hear some astronomical figure that a man that isn't very old wrote 500 books. Do you know how long it takes to write a freaking book? Like, come on, man, 500 of them? So I did a quick Google search and I only found 4 books. Now, I may or may not be finding all the books that there are because Google ain't perfect. But come on, man, you hear 500 books and you don't search that to see if that's true? I mean, I did, and it ain't true.
So I'm telling my assistant, oh my gosh, we get to hang out with a man of God that has downloaded over 500 books straight from the throne room. Like, that's amazing. And then I heard Tim told me, right? Because we used to hang out, right? He's like, yeah, Java, every time he flies on an airplane to go do something, he downloads an entire book and writes it while he's on the plane. And now, in retrospect, as I'm looking back, everybody is a liar.
Exactly.
Everybody lies about everything.
Ain't no way somebody's writing an entire book on a flight. It's just not happening.
I have been on so many airplane rides with Java. He has never once written a book while flying, nor getting a download from God, because he doesn't get downloads from God, the God, Jesus Christ.
He's getting his downloads from the demonic. Okay, so now you're getting ready to hear how after they land, Java doesn't have any of his assistants. This is a smaller trip. They take about 10 or 11 people with him. As you heard on the previous trip, there were 60 to 70 people. Java doesn't have his assistants. So he hits Katie up and he's like, can you and your assistant come to my room, help me unpack my stuff? And so that's what she does. And this is where things take a dark turn.
I mean, I still love them, but I don't know what you guys are doing now. But I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, that makes total sense, right? So we go up there and I go into his room and he tells my assistant to leave the room. She had to go get something or something. And as soon as she left, he grabs me and starts to try to rip my pants off. And like, I'm so confused. And I'm holding my pants and I'm like, no, 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 no. And he's like, I thought you wanted me. I was like, no, 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 I don't. What? I'm like, you're my spiritual father. Like, no. And he's like, oh, well, I thought I got mixed signals. So now he's messing with my head. I'm like, I don't know what is going on. I'm like, I'm in a happy relationship. Like, I don't know what you were ever thinking, and he tries to make it your fault. The reason why I'm telling this story is because there's so many of you women. I know you personally. I would never say your names publicly, but you know that I know you personally. And I know that you have been abused and used by Passion Java. And I know that there's some of you in Atlanta, Georgia, that have been used and sexually abused by Tim.
So here's the problem, right? If she wasn't sending mixed signals, or if she was giving signals, you guys are children of God. You're not supposed to be having sex before marriage anyway. And no matter what kind of signals are getting sent, and if you're this anointed man of God that you claim to be, and you're leading all these crusades and doing all these mission trips and doing all this stuff, you shouldn't be trying to sleep with nobody anyway, because you have, not only do you have a reputation to uphold, but you have people's salvations at hand. You are a church leader, a disciple maker, a prophet maker. I guess is what you would think that he is. Um, Although prophets only are made by God. But that's what he's trying. He's training. He's trying to train Katie how to be a prophet, right? And now you're taking advantage of these women. And furthermore, Passion is also married. He's got a wife. Where's your wife at during all this? You're out trying to sleep with someone and tear her clothes off, and you got a wife back at home. Lovey does the same thing. He's married, he's got a wife, and he's sleeping with Gigi and all these other women. It's crazy. There's no loyalty in these men of God to their wives. There's no loyalty in these men of God to God. None of the less talking about their congregation.
You guys fund all his trips and all his luxury hotel rooms, not only for him, but also for us. You pay for our Gucci's, you pay for our clothes, you pay for our shopping trips. It's really disgusting.
This is all stuff that is provided by the tithe and the offering. All that money you guys give these guys goes for their lavish lifestyles. I don't think that there's anything wrong with tithing. I encourage everyone to tithe. Tithe to your heart's content, right? But make sure the money's going to what it's supposed to be going for. The pastors get a salary, right? The pastor should not be living out of the tithe. They shouldn't be living off your offerings that they're raising. If they raise a specific offering and you know that it's for that, and you know it's for like some personal use, hey, and you're okay with that, go for it. I'm not telling you to not do that. But when they tell you it's for something else and then they use it for an entirely different thing, like jets and clothes and lifestyle, traveling abroad and, wine and dining and trying to take advantage of women, that's when I have a problem with it. But here's where things get the worst.
I'm not going to go into the details of this story, but I will tell you. And I say this for the women that I know you think you are stuck. I'm here to tell you, you are not stuck. Passion Java raped me. He raped me multiple times. He not only used me, raped me, hurt me. I had bruises all over my body. I had so many bruises on my chest that you couldn't even touch me because it hurt. I had bruises on my lips and on my face where he choked me. He slapped me in my face. And I would yell at him and tell him, don't touch me. But obviously, he is stronger than me, especially when his demons come out. Because at this point, like, I'm literally seeing the switch where Passion Java's eyes are pitch black. And there's this deep growling voice that's coming out of his mouth. And as he's raping me, he's telling me to shut up. And I was so dazed and confused that he literally trafficked me to China, and then used me as his sex slave for 3 days while we were there.
That's crazy work. This is crazy. And this is a man of God, and this is someone out there that's still walking around free. And this is a crime, right? Multiple crimes. And I'm sure that people are going to come to his defense, and people are going to slander Katie and say that this is false, this is defamation of character, and whatever other legal terms you can call this type of stuff. And probably nothing will even happen behind this because he's got witchcraft and wizardry and spells and all types of things that he can do to combat all this, right? He's probably not worried about doing a lick of time in jail, you know? But what does happen is she does bring this to Kingdom Embassy and this Tim Panasuit guy. And what he says is, I really hope you're not going to tell anyone. That's the type of church that we're messing with here, guys. And so I'm going to leave this full length video down below in the link, guys. I just really think it's time that we stop taking this type of stuff from so-called men of God, from these false prophets. These men are out here damaging people and ruining people's lives and causing people extreme harm and hurting people. And you guys that go to these churches and sit in these congregations every Sunday, you're enabling this. We need to boycott this type of stuff. We need to stop watching these types of videos. We need to stop promoting these guys and calling them men of God, saying that these are true prophets sent from God and that we can't speak against them, because this is the type of stuff that's happening when we're playing it hush. That's going to do it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, God bless.